Hello, this is Hasanya. Um, sorry, coming back with a reading from the HalleluYah scriptures. We'd entered the Debarim or Deuteronomy, and we're going into chapter 13. Um, where I mentioned in my description that I wanted to take the channel to the eventuality of other people joining me to read, um, and to a 24-hour channel. Um, Today we have a sister joining me to read, which is awesome. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nathaya, and I am going to continue with reading Deuteronomy 13.
And I'm going to start us with a word of prayer, and then she'll go right into reading. Okay. Heavenly Father, thank you, the water, the water, the water. The water, Father, for all that you're doing in the land. The water, Father, for the desire you placed in my heart to open your book, our book, and to understand it more. Please, Father, grace me with exactly that, and us, those of us who come to read and or come to the channel to understand you, understanding and wisdom and knowledge. Father, forgive us our sins, forgive our ancestors, Father, and just put a hedge of protection around the channel, Father. These and all things I ask in yours and your son's name. So be it and may it be so. Okay.
Ready? Okay, so this is Debarim or Deuteronomy 13. Okay. When there arises among you a Nabi or a dreamer of dreams, and he shall give you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder shall come true, of which he has spoken to you, saying, Let us go after other mighty ones, which you have not known, and serve them. Do not listen to the words of that Nabi or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahweh your Elohim is trying you to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being. Walk after Yahweh your Elohim and revere him, and guard his commands and obey his voice, and serve him and cling to him. And that Nabi or that dreamer of dreams is put to death because he has spoken apostasy against Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim and redeemed you from the house of bondage to make you stray from the way in which Yahweh your Elohim commanded you to walk. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst, that when your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend who is as your own being, entices you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, of the mighty ones of the people which are all around you, near to you or far off from you, from one end to the earth, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth. Do not agree with him or listen to him, nor shall your eye pardon him, nor spare him or conceal him. But you shall certainly kill him. Your hand is first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones until he dies, because he sought to entice you away from Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage. And let all Yasharel hear and revere, and not again do any such evil matter as this in your midst. When you hear someone in one of your cities, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you to dwell in, saying, Some men, sons of Belial, have gone out of your midst and led the inhabitants of their city astray, saying, Let us go and serve other mighty ones, which you have not known. Then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently, and see if the matter is true, and established that this abomination was done in your midst. You shall certainly smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, putting it under the ban, and all that is in it and its livestock, with the edge of the sword, and gather all its plunder into the middle of the street, and completely burn with fire the city and all its plunder before Yahweh your Elohim, and it shall be a heap forever, never to be built again. And none of that which is put under the ban is to cling to your hand, so that Yahweh turns from the fierceness of his displeasure, and shall show you compassion, love you, and increase you, as he swore to your fathers, when you obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard all his commands, which I command you today, to do what is right in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim. Chapter 14. You are the children of Yahweh your Elohim. Do not cut yourselves, nor shave the front of your head for the dead. For you are a Kadesh people to Yahweh your Elohim, and Yahweh has chosen you to be a people for himself, a treasured possession above all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. Do not eat whatever is abominable. These are the living creatures which you do eat: ox, sheep, and goat, deer, and gazelle, and roebuck, and wild goat, and mountain goat, and antelope, and mountain sheep, and every beast that has a split hoof divided in two, chewing the cud, among the beasts, you do eat. But of those chewing the cud, or of those having a split hoof completely divided, you do not eat, such as these: the camel, and the hare, and the rabbit, for they chew the cud, but do not have a split hoof. They are unclean for you. And the pig is unclean for you, because it has a split hoof, but does not chew the cud. You do not eat their flesh, nor touch their dead carcasses. These you do eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales you do eat. And whatever does not have fins and scales you do not eat. It is unclean for you. Any clean bird you do eat, but these you do not eat: the eagle, and the vulture, and the black vulture, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the buzzard after their kinds, and every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, and the nighthawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after their kinds, the little owl, and the great owl, and the white owl, and the pelican, and the carrion vulture, and the fisher owl, and the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopoe, and the bat. And every creeping creature that flies is unclean for you. They are not eaten. Any clean bird you do eat. Do not eat whatever dies of itself. Give it to the stranger who is within your gates to eat it, or sell it to a foreigner. For you are a Kadosh people to Yahweh your Elohim. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. You shall tithe without fail all the yield of your grain, that the field brings forth year by year. And you shall eat before Yahweh your Elohim in the place where he chooses to make his name dwell. The tithe of your grain, and your new wine, and your oil, and of the firstlings of your herds and your sheep, so that you learn to revere Yahweh your Elohim always. But when the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to bring the tithe, or when the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to put his name is too far from you, when Yahweh your Elohim is Barakah to you, then you shall give it in silver, and shall take the silver in your hand, and go to the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses. And you shall use the silver for whatever your being desires, for cattle or sheep, or for wine or strong drink, for whatever your being desires. And you shall eat there before Yahweh your Elohim, and you shall rejoice, and you and your household. And do not forsake the Levite who is within your gates, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of every third year, you bring out all the tithe of your increase of that year, and store it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion nor inheritance with you, and the sojourner, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates, shall come and eat and be satisfied, so that Yahweh your Elohim barak you in all the work of your hand which you do. At the end of every 7 years, you make a release of debts. And this is the word of the release. Every creditor is to release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He does not require it of his neighbor or his brother, because it is called the release of Yahweh. Of a foreigner, you could require it, but your hand is to release whatever is owed by your brother. Only there should be no poor among you. For Yahweh greatly barak you in the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you to possess as an inheritance, only if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to guard, to do these commands which I am commanding you today. For Yahweh your Elohim shall barak you as he promised you, and you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. And you shall rule over many nations, but they do not rule over you. When there is a poor man with you, one of your brothers, within any of the gates in your land, which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother. For you shall certainly open your hand to him, and certainly lend him enough for his need, whatever he needs. Be on guard lest there be a thought of Belial in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is near, and your eye is evil against your poor brother, and you give him naught. And he shall cry out to Yahweh against you, and say, and it shall be a sin in you. You shall certainly give to him, and your heart should not and your heart should not be grieved when you give to him, because for this reason Yahweh your Elohim barak you in all your works and in all to which you put your hand, because the poor one does not cease from the land. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, you shall certainly open your hand to your brother, to your poor, and to your needy one in your land. When your brother is sold to you, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman, and shall serve you 6 years, then let him go free from you in the 7th year. And when you send him away free from you, let him not go away empty-handed. You shall richly supply him from your flock, and from your threshing floor, and from your winepress, with that which Yahweh has barak you with. Give to him. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim, and Yahweh your Elohim redeemed you. Therefore I am commanding you this word today. And it shall be, when he says to you, I do not go away from you, because he loves you and your house, because it is good for him with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Do the same to your female servant. Let it not be hard in your eyes when you send him away free from you, for he has been worth a double hired servant in serving you 6 years. And Yahweh your Elohim shall barak you in all that you do. Kadash to Yahweh your Elohim all the firstborn males that come from your herd and your flock. Do no work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household are to eat it before Yahweh your Elohim, year by year in the place which Yahweh chooses. But when there is any defect in it, lame or blind, or has any evil defect, do not slaughter it to Yahweh your Elohim. Eat it within your gates, the unclean and the clean alike, as the gazelle and as the deer. Only do not eat its blood, pour it on the ground like water. Guard the month of Abib, and perform the Passover to Yahweh your Elohim. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh your Elohim brought you out of Mitzrayim by night. And you shall slaughter the Passover to Yahweh your Elohim from the flock and the herd in the place where Yahweh chooses to put his name. Eat no leavened bread with it. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread with it, bread of affliction, because you came out of the land of Mitzrayim in haste, so that you remember the day in which you came out of the land of Mitzrayim, all the days of your life. And no leaven should be seen with you in all your border for 7 days. Neither should the meat which you slaughter in the evening on the first day stay all night until morning. You are not allowed to slaughter the Pesach within any of your gates, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. But at the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell, there you slaughter the Pesach in the evening, at the going down of the sun, at the appointed time you came out of Mitzrayim. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses, and in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there is a closing festival to Yahweh your Elohim. You do no work. Count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain, and you shall perform the festival of Shabbath to Yahweh your Elohim, according to the voluntary offering from your hand, which you give as Yahweh your Elohim barak you. And you shall rejoice before Yahweh your Elohim, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates, and the stranger and the fatherless, and the widow who is in your midst, at the place where Yahweh your Elohim chooses to make his name dwell. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim, and you shall guard and do these laws. Perform the festival of Succoth for 7 days after the ingathering of your threshing floor and from your winepress. And you shall rejoice in your festival, you and your son and your daughter, and your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates. For 7 days you shall celebrate a festival to Yahweh your Elohim in the place which Yahweh chooses, because Yahweh your Elohim barak you in all your increase and in all the work of your hands, and you shall be only rejoicing. 3 times a year all your males appear before Yahweh your Elohim in the place which he chooses, at the festival of Matzah, and the festival of Shabuath, and the festival of Succoth, and none should appear before Yahweh empty-handed, each one with the gift of his hand according to the barakah of Yahweh your Elohim, which he has given you. Appoint judges and officers within all your gates, which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous ruling. Do not distort right ruling. Do not show partiality, nor take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the righteous. Follow righteousness, righteousness, so that you live and inherit the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. Do not plant for yourself any tree as an Asherah near the altar of Yahweh your Elohim that you make for yourself, and do not pull up a pillar which Yahweh your Elohim hates. 17. Do not slaughter to Yahweh your Elohim a bull or sheep which has any evil matter, for that is an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim. When there is found in your midst any of your cities which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, a man or a woman who does what is evil in the eyes of Yahweh your Elohim, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other mighty ones and bowed down to them, or to the sun, or to the moon, or to any of the host of the Shamayim, which I have not commanded, and it has been made known to you, and you have heard and have searched diligently. Then see if true the matter is confirmed, that such an abomination has been done in Israel. Then you shall bring out to your gates that man or woman who has done this evil matter, and you shall stone to death that man or woman with stones. At the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall he that is to die be put to death. He is not put to death by the mouth of one witness. The hand of the witnesses shall be first against him to put him to death, and the hand of all the people last. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. When any matter arises which is too hard for you to judge, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, or between stroke and stroke, matters of strife within your gates, then you shall rise and go up to the place which Yahweh your Elohim chooses, and come to the Kohanim, the Levites, and to the judge who was in those days, and shall inquire, and they shall declare you the word of right ruling, and you shall do according to the word which they declare to you from that place which Yahweh chooses, and you shall guard to do according to all that they instruct you. Do according to the Torah in which they teach you, according to the right ruling which they say to you. You do not turn to the right or to the left from the word which they declare to you. And the man who acts arrogantly so as not to listen to the Kohen who stands to serve there before Yahweh your Elohim, or to the judge, that man shall die. So you shall purge the evil from Yasharal, and let all the people hear and revere, and no longer do arrogantly. When you come to the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you, and shall possess it, and shall dwell in it, and you shall say, let me appoint a sovereign over me like all the Gentiles that are around me. You shall certainly appoint a sovereign over you, whom Yahweh your Elohim shall choose. Appoint a sovereign over you from among your brothers. You are not allowed to appoint a foreigner over you, who is not your brother. Only he is not to increase horses for himself, nor cause the people to return to Mitzrayim to increase horses. For Yahweh has said to you, do not return that way again. And he is not to increase wives for himself, lest his heart turn away, nor is he to greatly increase silver and gold for himself. And it shall be when he sits on the throne of his reign, that he shall write for himself a copy of this Torah in a book, from the one before the Kohanim, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, so that he learns to revere Yahweh his Elohim, and guard all the words of this Torah and these laws, to do them, so that his heart is not lifted up above his brothers, and so as not to turn aside from the command, right or left, so that he prolongs his days in his reign, he and his children in the midst of Israel. Um, okay.
Okay, chapter 18. The Kohanim, the Levites, all the tribe of Levi, have no part nor inheritance with Yasharel. They are to eat the offerings of Yah made by fire and his inheritance. But among his brothers, no inheritance. Yah is his inheritance, as he has spoken to him. And this is the Kohen's right. From the people, from those who bring an offering, whether it is bull or sheep. They shall give to the Kohen the shoulder and the 2 cheeks and the stomach, the first fruits of your grain and your new wine and your oil, and the first of the fleece of your sheep you give to him. For Yah, your Elohim, has chosen him out of all your tribes to stand to serve in the name of Yah, him and his sons forever. And when the Levite comes from one of your gates, from where he has sojourned among all Yasharel, and shall come with all the desire of his being to the place which Yah chooses, then he shall serve in the name of Yah his Elohim, like all his brothers the Levites, who are standing there before Yah. They are to have portion for portion to eat, besides what comes from the sale of his inheritance. When you come into the land which Yah your Elohim is giving you, do not learn to do according to the abominations of those Gentiles. Let no one be found among you who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices divination, or a user of magic, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead. For whoever does these are an abomination to Yah. And because of these abominations, Yah, your Elohim, drives them out from before you. Be perfect before Yah, your Elohim, for these nations whom you are dispossessing listen to those using magic and to diviners. But as for you, Yah, your Elohim, has not appointed such for you. Yah, your Elohim, shall raise up for you a Nabi like me from your midst, from your brothers. Listen to him. According to all you asked of Yah your Elohim and Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of Yah my Elohim, nor let me see this great fire any more, lest I die. And Yah said to me, What they have spoken is good. I shall raise up for them a Nabi like you out of the midst of their brothers, and I shall put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. And it shall be, the man who does not listen to my words, which he speaks in my name, I require it of him. But the Nabi who presumes to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other mighty ones, even that Nabi shall die. And when you say in your heart, How do we know the word which Yah has not spoken? When the Nabi speaks in the name of Yah and the word is not or comes not, that is the word which Yah has not spoken. The Nabi has spoken it presumptuously. Do not be afraid of him. Chapter 19. Elohim cuts off the nation whose land Yah your Elohim is giving you, and you dispossess them and dwell in their cities and in their houses. Separate 3 cities for yourselves in the midst of your land, which Yah your Elohim is giving you to possess. Prepare a way for yourself and divide it into 3 parts the border of your land, which Yah your Elohim is giving you to inherit, that anyone who killed someone shall flee there. And this is the matter of the one who killed someone who flees there and live. He who smites his neighbor unintentionally, not having hated him in time past, even he who goes to the forest with his neighbor to cut timber, and his hand swings a stroke with an axe to cut down the tree, and the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies, let him flee to one of these cities and live. Lest the revenger of blood, while his displeasure is hot, pursue the one who killed someone and overtake him, because the way is long and shall smite him, though he has not worthy though he was not worthy of death, since he had not hated him before. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, Separate 3 cities for yourself. And if Yah your Elohim enlarges your border as he swore to your fathers, and has given you the land which he promised to give to your fathers, when you guard all this command to do it, which I am commanding you today, to love Yah your Elohim and to walk in his ways all the days, then you shall add 3 more cities for yourself besides these 3, so that innocent blood is not shed in the midst of your land, which Yah your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance, or blood guilt shall be upon you. But when anyone hates his neighbor and shall lie in wait for him and rise against him and smite the life from him, so that he dies, then he shall flee to one of these cities. And the elders in the city shall send and bring him from there and give him into the hand of the revenger of blood, and he shall die. Your eye shall not pardon him, but you shall purge the blood of the innocent from Yasharel, so that it might be well with you. Do not remove your neighbor's boundary, which those in the past have bound in your inheritance, which you inherit in the land that Yah your Elohim is giving you to possess. One witness does not rise up against a man concerning any wickedness or any sin that he commits. At the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, a matter is established. When a malicious witness rises up against any man to accuse him of turning aside, then who have the both men who have the dispute shall stand before Yah, before the Kohanim, and the judges who serve in those days. And the judges shall diligently search and see if the witness is a false witness, who has falsely accused his brother. Then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. And let the rest hear and revere, and never again do this evil matter in your midst. And let your eye not harden. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Wow. You want to read? Or, okay.
Chapter 20, Deuteronomy. When you go out to battle against your enemies and shall see horses and chariots and people more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them, for Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you up out of from the land of Mitzrayim, is with you. And it shall be, when you draw near to the battle, that the Kohen shall come and speak to his people, and shall say to them, Hear, O Yasharel, you are dwelling near today to do battle with your enemies. Do not let your heart faint. Do not fear or tremble or be afraid before them. For Yahweh your Elohim, he who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And the officers shall speak to the people, saying, Who is the man who has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And who is the man who has planted a vineyard and has not begun to use it? Let him also go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man shall begin to use it. And who is the man who is engaged to a woman and has not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. And the officers shall speak further to the people and say, Who is the man who is afraid and tender of heart? Let him go and return to his house, lest the heart of his brothers faint like his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have finished speaking to the people, that they shall appoint commanders of the divisions to lead the people. When you draw near to a city to fight against it, then you shall make a call for peace to it. And it shall be that if it accepts your call for peace and shall open to you, then all the people found in it are to be your compulsory labor and serve you. But if it does not make peace with you and shall fight against you, then you shall besiege it, and Yahweh your Elohim shall give it into your hands, and you shall smite every male in it with the edge of the sword. Only the women and the little ones and the livestock and all that is in the city, all its spoil, you take as plunder for yourself, and you shall eat the enemy's plunder, which Yahweh your Elohim gives you. Do so to all the cities which are very far from you, which are not of the cities of these nations, only of the cities of these peoples which Yahweh your Elohim gives you as an inheritance. You do not keep alive any that breathe, but you shall certainly put them under the ban, the Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite and the Hittite and the Jebusite, and Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, as Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, lest they teach you to do according to all their abominations which they have done for their mighty ones, and you sin against Yahweh your Elohim. When you besiege a city for a long time, by fighting against it to take it, you do not destroy its trees by wielding an axe against them. If you do eat of them, do not cut them down, for is the tree of the field a man to be besieged by you? Only the trees which you know are not trees for food, you do destroy and cut down, to build siege works against the city that is fighting against you until it falls. When anyone is found slain, lying in the field in the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you to possess, and it is not known who smote him, Then your elders and your judges shall go out, and they shall measure the distance from the slain man to the cities round about. And it shall be that the elders of the city nearest to the slain man shall take a heifer which has not been worked and which has not pulled with the yoke, and the elders of that city shall bring the heifer down to a wadi with flowing water, which is neither plowed nor sown, and they shall break the heifer's neck there in the wadi. And the Kohanim, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for Yahweh your Elohim has chosen them to serve him and to Barak in the name of Yahweh, and by their command every strife and every stroke. And let all the elders of that city nearest to the slain man wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the wadi. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, nor have our eyes seen it. O Yahweh, forgive your people, Yasharal, whom you have redeemed, and do not allow innocent blood in the midst of your people, Yasharal. And the blood guilt shall be pardoned to them. Thus you purge the guilt of innocent blood from your midst when you do what is right in the eyes of Yahweh. When you go out to fight against your enemies, and Yahweh your Elohim shall give them into your hand, and you shall take them captive, and shall see among the captives a woman lovely of form, and shall delight in her, and take her for your wife. Then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails, and put aside the mantle of her captivity, and shall dwell in your house, and mourn her father and her mother a month of days. And after that you shall go in to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. And it shall be, if you are not pleased with her, then you shall let her go at her desire, but you do not sell her at all for silver. Do not treat her harshly, since you have humbled her. When a man has two wives, one loved and the other unloved, and they shall have borne him children, both the loved and the unloved, and the firstborn son is of her who is unloved, then it shall be on that day he makes his sons to inherit his possessions. He is not allowed to treat the son of the beloved wife as firstborn in the face of the son of the unloved who is the firstborn. But he is to acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the beginning of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his. When a man has a wayward and rebellious son who is not listening to the voice of his father or to the voice of his mother, and who, when they have disciplined him, does not listen to them, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of his city, to the gates of his city, and shall say to the elders of his city, This son of ours is wayward and rebellious. He is not listening to our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Then all the men of his city shall stone him to death with stones. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst, and let all Yasharal hear and revere. And when a man has committed a sin worthy of death, then he shall be put to death, and you shall hang him on a tree. Let his body not remain overnight on the tree, for you shall certainly bury him the same day. For he who is hanged and accursed of Elohim, so that you do not defile the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you as an inheritance. 22. When you see your brother's ox or his sheep going astray, you shall not hide yourself from them. Return them to your brother without fail. And if your brother is not near you, or if you do not know him, then you shall bring it to your house, to your own house, and it shall be with you until your brother seeks it. Then you shall return it to him. And so you do with his donkey and so you do with his garment, and so you do with whatever your brother loses, which he has lost and you have found. You are not allowed to hide yourself. When you see your brother's donkey or his ox fall down on the way, you shall not hide yourself from them. Help with them. Help him raise them without fail. A woman does not wear that which pertains to a man, nor does a man put on a woman's garment. For whoever does this is an abomination to Yahweh, your HalleluYah.
Where you are? Right.
When you come upon a bird's nest along the way, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, with the mother sitting on the young or on the eggs, do not take the mother with the young. Let the mother go without fail, and take the young for yourself, so that it might be well with you, and that you have prolonged days. When you build a new house, then you shall make a parapet for your roof, so that you do not bring blood guilt on your house when one falls from it. Do not sow your vineyards with different kinds of seed, yet lest the yield of the seed which you have sown and the fruit of your vineyard be defiled. Do not plow with an ox and a donkey together. Do not put on a garment of different kinds of wool and linen together. Make tassels on the four corners of the garment with which you cover yourself. When any man takes a wife, and shall go into her, and shall hate her, and shall make abusive charges against her, and bring an evil name on her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I did not find her a maiden, then the father and mother of the young woman shall take and bring out the proof of the girl's maidenhood to the elders of the city at the gate. And the girl's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as wife, and he hates her. And see, he has made abusive charges against her, saying, I did not find your daughter a maiden, and yet these are the proofs of my daughter's maidenhood. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city, and the elders of that city shall take that man and punish him, and fine him 100 pieces of silver, and give them to the father of the young woman, because he has brought an evil name on a maiden of Yasharal, and she is to be his wife. He is not allowed to put her away all his days. But if the matter is true, that the girl was not found a maiden, then they shall bring out the girl to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death with stones, because she has done wickedness in Yasharal, to whore in her father's house. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. When a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, then both of them shall die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. Thus you shall purge the evil from Yasharal. When a girl who is a maiden is engaged to a husband, and a man finds her in the city and lies with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and shall stone them to death with stones, the girl because she did not cry out in the city, and the man because he has humbled his neighbor's wife. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst. But if a man finds the girl who is engaged in the field, and the man seizes her and lies with her, then only the man who lay with her shall die. But you shall do no matter to the girl. The girl has no sin worthy of death, for the matter is like a man who rises against his neighbor and kills him. For he found her in the field, and she cried out, the engaged girl, but without anyone to save her. When a man finds a girl who is a maiden, who is not engaged, and he seizes her and lies with her, and they are found out, then the man who lay with her shall give to the girl's father 50 pieces of silver, and she is to be his wife, because he has humbled her. He is not allowed to put her away all his days. A man does not take his father's wife, nor uncover his father's skirt.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today, or thank you for joining me today. We got through Debarim or Deuteronomy chapter 23. I'm sorry, chapter 22, and we'll be entering chapter 23 tomorrow. Have a good evening and shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.